Hi, I'm MCHS. You'll refer to me as MCHS. It's been over a month since the last devlog, and in that time, I've added a lot to the game. In this video, I will tell you all of the additions to the game that I know you will love. So, let's begin. If this is your first time here, I'm an indie game developer, and the game I'm working on is a speedrun platformer named The Shadowrunner. You can find more info in the devlog playlist linked in the description. As you can tell from the title of the video, I've added a boss fight to the game, but what you didn't expect is that I've actually added 2 boss fights, and I'm planning to add the 3rd. So, how do you make a boss? It's actually pretty simple. The first part of any good boss is planning. You want to know what you're going to make before you make it, so you don't get confused halfway through. Before you draw a single sprite or write a single line of code, you'll want to answer these questions. What's the gameplay going to be like? What's the user experience going to be like? Does the fight fit in with everything else in the game? Is the fight actually fun? And if you want your boss to actually have significance, what's the boss's motivation? What's the lore behind everything? What are you fighting? It just gets overwhelming after a while. But once you have an idea of what you're going to make it, and make it good. Make sure the difficulty is hard enough to make the boss actually matter, but not so hard that the player rage quits first time they die. Unless you want that, which I do. Okay, but what's the boss fight actually gonna be? What's its attacks? What can it do? How are you gonna beat it? These are a lot of questions, and the bosses I have now are really simple. But as the game gets more developed, so will the boss fights. These are very important questions, and bosses are a very important part of the game, so I want to make sure that all of these questions are answered by the release. Now, the easy part is over. You have a simple boss fight with fun and challenging gameplay, but the important part has only begun. It didn't take me long to make the gameplay side of things, but everything else turned out to be much more difficult. I ended up spending an entire week researching how to make text boxes, and after almost giving up, I ended up learning how to code text boxes. You can find more info and a demo in the description. Cool, but what's the boss gonna say, and what's it all gonna mean? Well, it depends on the game. For my game, I want the dialogue to make sense from a surface level view, but I also want there to be a deeper meaning to everything. I want the dialogue to be one of the ways where I can hide secrets, convey ideas, and hint at something larger. I want my games to have lore that keeps people engaged, makes people think, cool, but what does that mean? So, that's the simplified version of how to make a boss fight, including how to make some fun gameplay, some nice dialogue, and put in some good lore that you hope your players are smart enough to piece. Anyway, if you have any ideas, opinions, or things to say, write a comment. I always read my comments and I respond to many of them. Subscribe for more, like for better, and until next week, bye!